Hello, everyone. Let's see here if I'm on live. This is day 2 of me actually coming on YouTube live. So let's see if this works. Let's get where I can hopefully see comments. Let's see here. All right. Hopefully we're live here. All right, let's put it on my face first. How's that? And then I'll show you the cards. I'm got it a little backwards here, but that's all right. So, hi everyone. My name is Amanda Waldhart, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and you are with Amanda's Inspiration Station. I live in southern Wisconsin, Janesville, Wisconsin to be exact, and I have some cards that I want to share with you guys. I came on yesterday with some scrapbook layouts, and today I have 4 cards that we're going to be doing. Some are fun folds, and then some actually have a few little fun techniques in there, and we're going to do all 4 of them. Now, some of the product that we're going to be using today, Stampin' Up! Has retired. However, I'm just a little behind on some of my videos that I wanted to do, and I still want to share them because it doesn't matter. Maybe you have the stamp set and now you can look back on this and you can design and create these cards as well. So now I'm going to turn you guys down, but I'll go ahead and I'll put my face there. So we're going to make 4 cards. And we're going to use the Rockstar stamp set, and it does come with, well, it did. There is coordinating dies. Again, this did not carry over. The new catalog for Stampin' Up! Just went live on May 1st. Hi, how are you? Thank you, Mystique. It's so nice that you're joining me. Yay, and I can see your comment now, so yay. Okay. So this is the catalog that we have now that just went live on May 1st. Lots of great things in there. I have lots of things planned to share with you in the next couple of weeks. Each week I'm going to come on here. But today we're going to use the Rockstar bundle. Again, disclaimer. This has been retired. So this is no longer available to purchase, but if you have it, then you can go ahead and make these cards. There's a couple other products that we're going to use today also that are no longer. The Merry Melody embossing folder. Let's see here. We're going to use Phrases for All. I literally just want the little stamp that says friend on there. We're going to be using the Alphabet a la mode dies. I used these yesterday on my scrapbook layouts. I love these. Yesterday I showed you how to put cardstock on adhesive sheets and use them that way to make them peel like a sticker. Today we're actually going to put them on our foam sheets. So they're going to be like a sticker as well, but then they're puffy. And then we're also going to be using some of these embellishments that are the lightning and stars. So if you bought this bundle and you haven't played with it yet, or you don't know what to do with it, I hope this inspires you to get it out and start playing. Okay. So let's start. Let me show you the cards first. So this is our first card, and it is a fun fold. So it kind of opens like this. Now, this does make me sad. I feel like I'm showing you all of the things that most of everything that I'm using today has retired as of like 2 weeks ago, if that. This die here, these scallop rectangles, they were from our, give me a minute and I will remember it. I can't believe I'm forgetting it right now, but they are retired and they were one of my favorite dies, and they had them in different sizes. Then we're going to make just this regular card, but it opens going this way instead of going this way. So we're going to make that. Then we have the You Rock. We're going to use some heat embossing. And then, like I said, we're going to use these on the foam sheets and then the inside. And then we have an easel card that we're going to make today. So this is what the front of the card looks like. But then it pops up like this and it becomes an easel card. So it's like that. And then when you turn it, it's like that. So that is a fun card that we're going to do today. So let's get started because we do have 4 cards we're going to make. So we're going to start with this one first. And this card base actually measures at 4 1/4 by 11. And you're going to score it. You're going to score it in 2 spots. You're going to score it at 5 1/2 to score it in half. But then you're also going to score it at... give me a second, I can't remember. 2 3/4. I actually have the measurements off to the side because I made these a while ago and I knew I wasn't going to remember all the measurements. So that way you have 2 score lines here because we are going to fold it. So here's the card. We want to fold this over. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold it just like in half, like you would a normal card. You're going to use your bone folder. And then you're going to take this piece, and on the score line here, you're just going to fold it back. You're also going to use your bone folder so that you have it like this. Okay? Now, I feel like I should get some of this stuff out of the way. Maybe I need a bigger space. All right, so we have a couple different pieces here. We have the designer series paper. Now this designer series paper obviously is no longer 2, but it did come with, well, it wasn't in a suite though. It wasn't in a suite, but it did coordinate with it. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to get my glue out here and we're just going to place that flat on the inside. So we're just going to place that. I like to sometimes, instead of using cardstock, like on some cards, I use the cardstock on the inside. But sometimes when we're doing these fun folds, you know what, I'm going to turn this just a little bit so you guys can, there we go. I like the patterned paper, so I like to see that. So then we have 2 of these, and we're going to put one in the center. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to start by that. We're going to do this last because I will show you the easiest way to line this up so that you're not seeing the one underneath. So I'm just going to lay this flat on the inside and I'm going to center it right there. I'm going to leave this open here. So now we have a panel on the inside. Now we could have left it just black, and I did, but I took another piece of black because I actually wanted some texture there. So I ran this through the Merry Melody so that you could see all the music notes. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I feel like you can't. It's kind of, let's see here. Can you see it like that? I don't know. I feel like it's dark. My lighting's not, I guess, the greatest. I am in the basement. My classroom and that is in the basement. So I rely on all different kinds of lights. And I'm going to make sure that I don't put this where the music notes are upside down. And I am, again, just placing this flat. And then I have another piece of designer series paper. And we're going to lay that flat. So basically it kind of looks like we're just opening it up like this. And I do have this designer series paper here, so I could probably at least tell you what the name of it is. Let's see here. So the name of it was Rock and Roll. So just like the Rockstar was the name of the bundle, and then the paper was called Rock and Roll. All right, so now I have another piece of basic white. This is where we're going to stamp the guitar, and then we're going to stamp the guitar, and then we're going to color it, and we're also going to die cut it out. And then I'm going to grab, I have some pieces that are already dyed out that I'm going to grab here. I gotta find them here. I knew I had them in a little bag somewhere. So I have some little pieces. I didn't want to lose them for the video, so I decided to put them all in here. So now that I'm doing the video, let's dump this out. All right. So I have some little guitar picks. I have the lightning bolts. I have some stars. Okay, so before we stamp and die cut that, I'm just going to put this little lightning bolt already on the inside so that my inside is completely done. So I'm just going to, and these are dies as part of the inside this set, all these like little stars. And I'm actually just going to do a little dot there, and I'm going to place the star on there. And then I'm going to do another little dot on the side here, and we're just going to place the star there. And I'll just kind of grab my poker tool here. I teach you guys to do the whole dot, dot, not a lot. And I think that I did a too big of a little dot here. So let's get that glue off there. Otherwise, what's going to happen is I'm going to shut my card. And there, let's get that off. I'm going to shut my card and then it's going to stick, and I don't want that. So, all right. So while I'm going to let this dry for a moment while we go ahead and we are going to stamp Have a Rock and Roll Birthday. And I'm going to use my Memento ink pad. I'm using my Memento ink pad with this project because I'm using my blends. These are our alcohol-based markers, and when you're using our alcohol-based markers, you want to use Memento, okay? Memento is for alcohol-based markers. If you're using our Stampin' Write markers, then you could go ahead and use our StazOn. All right, so I'm going to really get this inked up. I like it when my black is like jet black. So I find it's, instead of stamping like this with the ink pad, I find I get more control and more on it if I actually just lift up the ink pad and stamp this way. That's just it's just a personal preference. And I'm going to stamp down and up. There we go. I'm going to set that aside, and then we're going to stamp the guitar, especially like if you have a larger image like this, it's just easier to do that. So we're going to stamp this. Let's see here. Here we go. My husband's trying to call me. He's on his way home probably, but I'm doing a video. All right, so you can see that I actually rocked the stamp a little bit, so there's a little ring around here. Doesn't matter because we're going to use the dies and cut it out. So I'm going to use copper clay, and when I use this, I'm using the darks. Our blends come in a 2-pack, and the 2-pack that we do has the light and the dark. All right, so I'm going to just, it looks, so I actually changed this a little bit. I'm like looking at it right now and I'm like, why does that look different? I'll tell you why it looks different. Because I was trying to make it look like a, this one guitar, I think it's, what is it, a Fender? So what I did is I actually went around the inside, just like this, and I took the dark black and I went all the way around like this, all the way up here and around, because that's the guitar that I wanted to make it look like. And then I actually kind of colored that part in. I actually pulled one up online and actually wanted to look at it. So I'm going to bring this in just a little bit more. And then I kind of made it my own. Then I colored in this part with the copper clay. So we're just going to color that in. And then I left the inside white. All right, so there's that. I love our blends. They are my favorite. Okay, so now I have the dies and I have my cut and emboss machine right off to the side. So I'm going to bring this over and I'm going to die cut this out. And I'm just going to place this on here like this. And to make sure that it doesn't slide around while I am running it through, because you don't want to take all that time stamping and coloring for it to turn around and slide on you. And then you have to do it all over again. I am going to then just run this through. Put the this back over here. And pull that out like that. Now I reuse this tape a lot. It is, that one is the Scotch painter's tape, or artisan tape, not painter's tape, sorry. It's made by 3M, low tack artisan tape. I do like this, but I do like this one better. Post-it has it. You can buy them on Amazon. Love them. All right, so now that we have this, let's go ahead and line this up. So we're going to actually want to close this card like this because we're going to want to line this up with the inside one so that you don't see it. Now, once we line this up, we only want to put adhesive on the back side of the left side because if we put adhesive on this side, our card's not going to open. So what I usually do is I kind of just come up just a little bit like that. And then I place it down like this. And then I give it a little pressure, a little rub here. And then that way, when you open it, it lines up. So see how that lines up? Love that. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use dimensionals here to pop up our guitar. I actually have a sheet of dimensionals today. I have more that are like just outlining, but I didn't want to go through and cut them all before the video. All right, so now I'm going to angle my guitar, and I want to kind of angle it so that it's fully on this side of the card. And then I have a little bow maker right here because I am not very good at making bows unless I have a bow maker. And I'm going to take our linen thread and I want to make a double bow. So, and I want the bow to actually be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to move the pegs. I'm going to make it so that one peg is between it. And I'm just going to kind of double it up right here. And then, so that way I have two pieces. And I'm going to wrap this around my bow maker like this. I'm going to cross it. Now the piece that's on top, I'm going to actually tuck under and back through. So now it's in the back. So I have a piece in the back, I have a piece in the front. Now the piece in the back, I'm going to bring back through over top, and then I'm just going to tie it in a knot right here. I'm just going to tie that in a knot. Now I still have the little loop on the side here, so I want to cut that. And then I have a double bow. And I'm going to use mini glue dots to adhere that. So I'll just place that up at the top here. And then I actually have another little star that I'm going to put in the center. So I'm just going to put another mini glue dot there because I want that to stay on the linen thread. I'm just going to pop that right there. And then I have a little pick. So we're going to put a dimensional on the back of that. And I'm just going to kind of angle that down. Let's see here. I don't really want to overlap it. I should have moved this over just a little bit. So I'll just kind of make it so that it's angled more like up here. And then I'm going to place one of these little yellow stars, which looks like I only have a couple small ones left. So let me see. Am I using yellow star ones anywhere else? I'm using a big one there, so we're good. All right. So now I'm going to put one right there and then right there. And that's our first card. That's our fun fold. It's like a zigzag card. Easy, cute, just a little something different. All right, so now let's move on to our second card. And this card right here is actually a pretty easy one. This one measures at 4 1/4 by 11 also. So what's nice is that's just cutting your cardstock in half, but just the long way. And I just did that for the last card. Now here's the other piece. And we're just going to score it at 5 1/2. Now on the inside of this one, I have a double matte layer. I like I will be honest, I like things on the inside of my cards. I don't like them when they're just empty. I think that if you're using basic white cardstock or very vanilla cardstock, then obviously you wouldn't need to put anything like a different color on. However, then maybe that's when maybe you'd want to stamp something in it. I like it when it makes the card a little bit thicker. Plus I just like to have the white or the very vanilla to write on. So I just adhered these all together flat. Okay. So there's the inside. Now I took 3 by 5 1/4 piece of black. So I'm doing like tone on tone. And I ran this through the embossing folder, the Merry Melody, and I'm just going to place that flat on there. Then I die cut it already for the video, the big pick, but we are going to do a few little things here. So I punched out a circle here, and I think this circle is the 2-inch circle. And give me a second to look at my measurements. I'm pretty sure it's the 2-inch circle. It is a 2-inch circle. Okay, so I did the 2-inch circle, and then I also took, this is a 1-inch circle, and I used just a hole puncher. So I am going to get out the hole puncher because I wish I remembered. This is Stampin' Up. This is an old one. I wish I remembered what size this one is, and I don't. So if you remember, by all means, please help me out and post that. So we're going to do some stamping. So we need to do the microphone, we need to do the saying, and then we need to do the little friend on the record. So I'm going to get out my Memento ink again. I'm going to bring this stamp over here. And we're going to, I want it angled like that. So I want to make sure that when I'm stamping it how I want it to be placed on the card. Then we are going to do the microphone. All right. And this one I do have the dies, and we will die cut that out. And then for the little part that says friend, that's where I took that little stamp that says dear friend from Phrases of All. What I'm going to do, I'm going to be very careful, and I'm literally just going to ink the side that says friend. However, I'm going to show you a little trick here that I'm going to use. I am going to use a Post-it note, because in case I did get it a little bit over, I want to put that there. So that way, if I did, it will stamp on the Post-it note and not the friend part. So now if I rip it off, it just says friend. And you can, honestly, if you didn't want to, you know, only dip it in friend, dip the ink part, you could just stamp it all because you have the Post-it note. It's not going to make a difference. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this part on in the center of my record here that I made. You can't have a music stamp set without a record. Records are like essential. I collect vinyl. I love vinyl. I've loved vinyl since I was a kid. Yes, I was born in the 70s. Yes, I was a kid growing up in the 80s. So, yep, now you know, I love vinyl. I had a 45 record player, and I loved that thing. And I would roller skate in my garage listening to my 45s. Now you probably know my age, and that's totally fine. Okay, so I'm going to grab the microphone die, because we are going to want to cut that out. And I'll line that up. Use the tape. And we'll just go ahead and run it through then all right, let's take that off. Let's see here. All right, so now I have this. So I'm going to place the Rock and Roll Big Pick flat, but the other ones I'm going to pop up. So I'm going to, let's see here. I feel like I do need a little more glue there. So I'm going to place that on my card flat, but then I'm going to take these and I'm going to pop those up. Let's see here. All right. And I got my record, my vinyl. All right. And we're going to peel those off. And actually, see, this is how much I like dimensionals. Because this is, you know, doesn't have a dimensional down there, I'm going to take a mini and I'm going to put a mini down there. All right. So now I'm going to kind of angle my record like that. I'm going to put my microphone kind of off to the side like that. And then we're going to add some white little stars and a big star. So I'm going to do a white little one right over here. And I'm going to do a big one up here. And there you have it. There's the second card. Have a rock and roll birthday. And there's your inside. Now, if you wanted to stamp something on the inside, you totally could. But you could just leave it like that too. All right, moving along. Let's move to the next card because I love the next card. So we are going to do this You Rock, and we're going to do a couple different things with it. So like I said, we're going to do the letters on the foam adhesive sheets, and then we're also going to do some heat embossing. So I have a foam adhesive sheet right here, and I think these measure at like, I measured them at one point now, I can't remember. I think they're like four and a half. So they're 4.5 by 4 and a little bit more than a 4 1/4. And I have noticed too that sometimes I feel like they're not always cut right, but all right. So my husband keeps calling me and he probably thinks I'm ignoring him. So what I'm going to do is I probably should have cut this piece to fit this whole thing and I would have had some extra left. But I know for a fact I'm not going to need that much. I'm only doing You Rock. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of line this up. I have not adhered this yet. I'm going to line this up and I'm going to just kind of cut it because I don't need all this. And now I have this and I can use this for another project. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to now peel one side so it peels on both sides. Does not matter what side you peel. So I'm just going to peel one side. Look at it like this is a big dimensional. This is what this is. It's one big, huge dimensional. Actually, what it is it's the dimensionals before they actually like cut them apart. That's what to me it is. It's like this before they cut them all apart. All right, so now you have this. And you are going to want to use your cut and emboss machine. And I have all the letters that I need right here from the Alphabet a la Mode. So I'm just going to place them down like this. And doesn't matter what order it's in. Hopefully I do have enough space for all these letters. I think I do. There we go. Ooh, I eyeballed that pretty darn close. All right, so this little guy does not want to stay because I have a magnetic board under there. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to lay that there so that it stays. All right, now we're going to place our plate over top and we're going to run it through. Now with something like this where you're running it through on something a little bit thicker, I would definitely run it forward and back. Sometimes, just to be safe, I will do it one more time like that, forward and back. All right, so let's take that off. There we go. And we'll peel this off. And then we will have these, which will be like stickers, only stickers with the foam underneath. So I'm going to remove these dies so we can get those out of the way. And I am using my poker tool because they can come up in your dies. But I don't, this is what, I'm going to put this on last on the card. So I want to just get rid of those right now, but I don't want to lose them. So I'm going to put them in this little magnetic dish I have. I love this thing. You can buy these at your hardware store, Menards, Home Depot, Ace Hardware, wherever, Lowe's. Okay, so let's go ahead then and get started with this card. Before we put the whole card together, actually, let's do the heat emboss too, because then that way we can just come back and just do the card. So looks like I'm missing a white piece in this one. Well, I'll just have to grab a white piece. All right, so, or is this it? Nope, that's an envelope. I don't know why there's an envelope in there. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna do some heat embossing. And I have my little additional tool tray here that I love. Now, because I'm using a darker color cardstock, I am gonna use one of these little bags. I can't even remember the name of these. Stampin' Up! Used to sell them. We no longer sell them anymore. But it has like a powder over it so that the powder from your embossing powder doesn't stick in unwanted areas. It helps to alleviate that. So I am going to rub that gently. You can buy these on Amazon too. And if you're watching me and you remember the name of this, please put this in the comments, because I, for the life of me right now, am having a moment in my brain where I cannot remember what it's called. All right, so if we're going to heat emboss and we're going to use white embossing powder, we are going to want to use the Versamark. This is a very sticky, clear, very sticky, very clear ink pad. And that is what the powder is going to stick to. And I'm going to get my little cleaning pad out here just because I use this in the black. So I want to make sure that that's clean before I put it in my Versamark. All right, so let's see here. Let's get this out of the way. Let's get this out of the way. So I'm going to really... I want to really ink this up and get it very sticky, just like that. And then I'm going to stamp. And you can see the image, it's stamped. And then I'm going to come over here, and I don't want to waste a lot of time because this will dry up. I want to go ahead and I want to dump this over. Now, do not be shy. We're gonna, whatever's left over, we're gonna put back in this jar. So you don't need to be shy with your embossing powder. I'm gonna pick it up gently. I'm gonna tap it. And then what I like to do is I like to flip it over, and I like to just like flick it like this, just to make sure that I do get all of the extra off. One thing about this additional toolkit that I really like, it comes with backwards tweezers, which is great, especially if you're holding something small when you're heat embossing. It also comes with this little brush. So you can, if you can't get some of that little off, like see how I can just brush that off. There's some excess right there. I can just brush it off. Now, when you first ink this with the Versamark, you want to make sure you're putting your powder on relatively fast because this will dry on the paper. However, now that this is on there, I don't have to heat emboss right away. I can set this aside. Embossing Buddy, thank you. Thank you so much for telling me. And is it Gian? Thank you so much. Oh, I knew it was, I cannot believe I forgot that. The simplest things, I tell you. The older I get, the more things I just forget. I want to set this aside right now before I heat emboss, and I want to clean this up because I have in the past, I'll admit it, I have not cleaned this up, and I've gone to heat emboss, and then I get this all over. Happens to the best of us. Now, this does have a little knob at the bottom that you can, you know, open it up and dump it out. Usually, I do just tap it this way and go through the corner. And usually, I don't get it on the table like this. So maybe that's a thing to do, is to just not open that bottom part. Because now I've got this all over. So give me just a second. We're going to wipe this off. Because for those of you who have heat embossed, you know that this is a mess. And it's now sticky. Feels like sand. So you know what we're going to do? And then we're just going to flip this over. All right. Smooth surface. Okay. So now I'm going to get out my heat tool. And I'm going to plug it in. And you're going to see how cool this is and how it just like changes before your eyes. I love this. All right. I'm just going to heat emboss this. And I'm going to try to do it up top here so you guys can see. At first, when you first do it, it looks just like it's like chalk powder. Looks very chalky on your black or like your darker color. But then it'll start to turn like a bright white. And you will see it like in front of you change, and then you'll know when it's done. All right. See, isn't that cool? Okay. So the other thing that you're going to notice too, and I don't know if you can see it on the video, it'll be shiny. Let me see if I can. It'll be shiny. Yeah, I don't know if you can really tell on the video. Okay, so now that we have that, you can always check too to see if it's done just by like lightly rubbing your fingers over it. And it is. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place that here, and we're going to cut it out. All right, so I want to line that up. And there we go. And I'm going to put that there. I feel like I need a bigger desk. I think that's what I need. Or I need to just clean all the stuff that's around my workspace. And then maybe I'd have more room. I think we'll go with option 2. All right. So now I've cut that out. And there is our cool guitar. All right, so now we can go ahead and we can make this card. Let's put this card together. So the inside, and I am going to bring my paper trimmer here though, because I am going to cut a white piece. I have one extra from last night. So this piece here is 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to make this piece, I'm going to cut it down by 1/4. I'm going to make it 3 3/4 by 5. And then I will be able to take this and I'm going to put this flat to the copper clay. Oop, I might be running out of some glue. And see, then there's just, when you cut it down just 1/4 inch, that's my general go-to. I like that. It just gives it a nice little mat around the edge. And then, yeah, I got more glue in there. All right, so this is the inside, and I'm just adhering these all flat. And then I'm going to adhere this Designer Series paper also flat. And I'm going to make sure that I don't put the guitars upside down. And this piece also measures 4 by 5 1/4. So it measures the same as my first mat on the inside. All right, so I place that flat because these are all going to be popped up. So let's get dimensionals here. Remember, if you watched me yesterday, or if you watch me in the future, or you've watched me in the past, I really do like dimensionals. I kind of go a little overboard with them, and it's fine. All right, so I'm going to kind of put this off to the left and just kind of do that. And now we have our You Rock. So I'm going to peel this out of here very carefully because these letters are very thin, so I don't want to rip it. And I'm just going to place them down. So I have the U and then Rock. All right. Just like that. Oops, I feel like I got that one a little crooked. Oh, there we go. Nope. I lied. It's not. It's fine. All right. So now I gotta... And then I'm going to bring the Rock down a little bit. There's the R. We need another O. I love these. I think these are so fun. I love to do them with letters. I even love to do them like with flowers and stuff like that too, to really just make the whole entire thing pop. I find when it's a thinner thing like this is when I might have needed to move these over. Hope I have enough room for this K. Yes, I do. I have faith. All right, so let me gently pull that out. And there we go. Yay, I just had enough space. Ooh, I cut that close, didn't I? Okay, so now we need to add our embellishments. And then we will be on to our fourth and final card. So, oops. We are going to add the blue little lightning bolts. I'm going to do that like there. And then I'm going to add one to the guitar, the smaller one right there. All right. And there is the third card. Super cute. You Rock. Then you can put whatever you want inside. All right. So there's that card. Now, for our last and final card, which is the fun fold that I love. It is so cool. All right. So let's get all of our pieces out here. I have another... All right, so let's show this again. So this is an easel card. So it's going to fold up like this. And then you're going to look at it. You can see how it's kind of like a triangle. All right. So you're not going to believe this, but this is actually the same measurements as our first card. So let's bring our first card. So remember how we had this like this and it was scored here like this? We're just going to turn it a different way. So let's go ahead first and let's do, so we're not going to have it go this way and then fold back. We're going to have it go this way. So let's get, first of all, just the white and the pool party cardstock in there. So I'm just adhering this flat just like I did the other 4 cards. And I am going to wait to do these guys, the little guitar picks, last. All right. So now we have this. Now we need our 2 pieces of designer series paper. So it doesn't matter, like we're just going to put them flat, but we need to make sure that they are not blocking the score line, which I have cut them down. And I don't remember the measurement on this one, but I can tell you in a second here. That is why I printed this. All right, so the designer series paper is 2.5 by 4, and both of them are 2.5 by 4, so you need 2 of them. And we're just going to place that then, and see how it leaves also a little mat, because now I want to be able to fold this. So we're going to just fold it like this. And I'm going to use my bone folder like this. So then it ultimately is going to go like this. Okay, but before we do that, we need to decorate the front. All right, so we have a couple different pieces here. I have this tag, and this was from our TaylorMade tags, which breaks my heart that it's gone. I loved TaylorMade tags. They were such a good dies. Such good dies. Okay, so I have a bunch of little pieces here. So I have these like little mini records. I have the banner that I already cut out. I guess I didn't realize I did that. So we're going to have to stamp that. Usually I would suggest stamp and then die cut. So I don't know why I did that. So we'll go ahead and we'll stamp that. And let's see if I can line that up. I don't know. This isn't even a photopolymer stamp. So I really don't know why I did that. Probably because I was like die cutting for the video and I just kind of got a little die cut happy. Ooh, look at, I think that I might have gotten off. Yep, I did. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to get rid of that. And I'm just going to grab a new piece. And we're just going to stamp and die cut like we should. Sometimes it works though. Sometimes it doesn't. I wanted to give it a try. All right, so I'm just going to stamp that like that. I am going to cut this though, because we're going to get this die out. And then we're also going to die cut the little drums. So we need Pool Party ink pad, which there we go. All right, so I'm going to do 2 of these. And actually, there we go. I want to make sure I don't get too close, that I have enough room for the dies, because I am going to have to run this one through twice. So let's get out the machine and bring this over. And I'll definitely need tape on this one. These little drums. And really, you don't have to stamp the drumsticks. You could just die cut them out. But I do think that it looks better when you stamp it, because then you have like the look of them. You actually can see some of the wood grain. So I'm going to go ahead and run that through. And then, so there's that piece. We're going to run this one through. Let me line that up. There we go. And now I have 2 drumsticks here. All right. So let's get this tape off. Stick it up there so we can reuse it. All right, so now I should have almost everything. So we're going to place these in a cross. And honestly, what I like to do, I like to just take a little tear and tape here, because I'm going to cover it with the banner. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little tear and tape right there. And then I'm going to use my poker tool to peel that. And then I'm just going to angle this from one corner. And I'm starting from the bottom here to another corner like this. And I'm actually going to put a little more tear and tape like now over that. Come on. Sometimes I can peel this tear and tape really well, and then other times I cannot. Okay, so now we're going to get out our dimensionals, and we're just going to pop this up over the top, so it doesn't matter that the tear and tape is there. You're covering it up anyway. So we're just going to peel those. You're just covering it up, okay? So now we need to do our ribbon and our bows, because we are going to, before we put this banner on. So this was actually from Celebrations. This is, see how old this video I should have done a while ago. This actually ribbon was from Celebrations, and it was Pool Party, and it was like crinkle ribbon or something. And what I did is I actually took my ribbon scissors and I cut all the way up the middle here. And there we go. And then what I did is I ran them both through the top of the tag, and I'm just using my poker tool to kind of poke them in there like this. So see, I literally just am running it through, and then I just tied it in a knot at the top here. And then I gently pulled. And I say gently because you do not want to rip the paper. So I just gently pulled that like that. So there's like our piece here. I do feel like I have that. And if you want to trim some of it to have like little angles at the top, you could do that. I do like that look better. All right, and then I did another double bow with my linen thread. So again, I just took some linen thread, folded it in half, and then did my bow. So I'm just gonna quickly do a bow here. Make sure I tie that very tightly. All right, so there's my little bow. And I'm going to use, again, my mini glue dots. And we're going to place that right underneath like that. So now I have this. I do feel like this piece, these two pieces are a little long because they're kind of like off to the side. There we go. All right, so now I have that. So how we're going to do this is we are going to only adhere the bottom here. So I need some glue dot or some dimensionals. So I'm only going to do about maybe halfway up like this. And you do kind of have to eyeball this because you don't want it to, you know, hit this. So a good way to do it is you could actually fold this up like this, then fold it back. And then you could actually adhere it to the back like this so that you know you're not getting the back side of that. So now you have the start of it. So see, it lays flat like this, but now when you go to lift it up, it'll move for you. All right, so we have some little records here. I did these with a 1-inch circle punches. And then I did these with 1/2-inch circle punches. So we are going to use a little bit of glue here around there. And then I used that handheld punch. We're just going to kind of dot, dot, dot. Just little tiny, tiny, tiny little dots of glue. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to use dimensionals. And I'm actually, because it's smaller, I am going to use my mini dimensionals. Not that I probably needed 4, but again. All right. I'm going to make those go all the way around. I love mini dimensionals because they're nice when you really need them in small spaces like this, but I have such a hard time picking at them. All right, so now I'm going to put a record over here. I'm going to put one down below here. I'm going to add on the front of the card, I'm going to add this yellow star. You know what, I'm going to use this one because it doesn't want to. There. And then I want to make sure that when I go like this, it stays upright. So what I'm going to do is on the back of these two, I'm going to put a dimensional. I'm going to peel that back. And I want to just make sure that when I'm doing this, like, do I want the card to come back this far? Do I want the card to come here? I kind of like it halfway a little bit. So I'm going to just then place these down like that, right in front of it, because then you know that's where it stops. And then see, you can go just like that. And then I need little, oh, you know what? I don't have the little stars. You know what? We're going to use the white ones. Nobody said that we have to use all yellow. All right, so we're going to use the little white ones. There you go. And there is your Fun Fold easel card. So we have the Fun Fold easel card. We had this Fun Fold. We had the Rock and Roll. And then we had the You Rock. So there is our cards today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you for telling me the embossing buddy, because I completely forgot about that. Thank you for loving my cards. I love that. Thank you so much. Feel free, case them away. I do sell the tutorials to a lot of my classes on my tutorial store at amandasinspirationstation.com. So there's always that as well if you guys are ever looking for some inspiration. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys next time. I believe next week, and I think it's Friday. Yep, the 17th. I will be coming on at 4 o'clock as well. We're going to do 4 cards, but we're going to be using the Cutest Cow stamp set and punch, and that did carry over. So I'm super excited about that. So those turned out really cute too. So I'm really excited to share with you guys that. And we'll actually be using blending brushes that time. So